Yeah, we miss him. We miss him a lot because those two fed off each other, had great chemistry. And of course, I didn't think Jalen Brunson would turn into an all-star going to New York. And now New York is in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson's in the playoffs, but Luka isn't in the playoffs. The matchup that I was hoping to get in the postseason. I won't have the luxury, I won't have the pleasure, I won't have the opportunity to see this matchup. And that's the Dallas Mavericks versus the Phoenix Suns. After the great game they had back in March, I said, I want to see this in the postseason. Kevin Durant had the game-winning shot, Luka and Booker chirping at each other, two young guys, two superstars going at it. Now, people can argue and say Booker is not a superstar. I think Booker is close to hitting that superstar level. But I digress. Kyrie and CP3 had a good game as well. And we do know this Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks team have a little history, going back to last year's playoffs. This 64-win Phoenix Suns team, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, lose to Luka Dončić, Jalen Brunson, and the Dallas Mavericks in 7 games on their home court by 30 plus points. And we all remember that look that Luka gave Devin Booker. Okay, we all remember that. Fast forward to 2023, the Phoenix Suns, they get Kevin Durant. And I'm like, man, this will be a great matchup, a great rematch in the postseason, but we won't get it because the Dallas Mavericks won't be in the playoffs. And this is the first time in Luka's career that he didn't make the postseason. Also, this is the first time in Luka's career that he played alongside another superstar, which is pretty crazy because both of those things happened in the same year. He played with the superstar and he didn't make the playoffs. Now, they didn't have enough time to build chemistry. You can argue that. We can say that. But this is a team that last season went to the Western Conference Finals and actually won a game against the Warriors to beat a 64-win Phoenix Suns team to this, only winning 38 games and not even making the play-in tournament. Now, we know they did make some mistakes along the way, and one of those mistakes was not signing Jalen Brunson. You needed Jalen Brunson on this team. This team had good chemistry with Jalen Brunson. When Luka was asked about Jalen Brunson, do we miss him? He said,
a lot. I mean, amazing guy, amazing player, for sure.
Yeah, we miss him. We miss him a lot because those two fed off each other, had great chemistry. And of course, I didn't think Jalen Brunson would turn into an all-star going to New York. And now New York is in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson's in the playoffs, but Luka isn't in the playoffs. I wasn't expecting Jalen Brunson to be an all-star. I had no expectations at all. But Luka and Jalen Brunson had two great things going. And of course, Mark Cuban really didn't believe in Jalen Brunson. Hey, it's a contract year. That's why he's having a great season. But even not making that push for Jalen Brunson, offering him that $30 million a year, what, 125, 120, whatever it was for 5 years. Even though you don't offer him that, going into the season, I still had high hopes for Dallas that they can actually make things work. Christian Wood, he was in the mix. And I was like, yeah, this team can possibly be in the 4th or 5th, maybe 6th seed, between the 4th and the 6th seed with Luka playing at a high level. And of course, Luka was playing at a high level, an extremely high level. He was playing at an amazing level, 60-point triple-doubles, stuff like that, 40-point games, 50-point games here. The team was actually winning 4th seed when Kyrie arrived. Now you trade Dorian Finney-Smith, your best defender. You trade him, you get rid of him, you bring Kyrie in, who is probably one of the best scoring point guards in the NBA. Now you have the best backcourt. Once you step on the court, every single night you have the best backcourt. It depends on what team you're going against, but usually when Kyrie and Luka are on the same court, they have the best backcourt every single night. But no defenders, no wing defenders, nobody to slow down the basketball. Everybody can pass Luka and everybody can pass Kyrie Irving. And Luka, he even said it himself, yeah, I need to improve on the defensive end. Now, Luka said he's not unhappy in Dallas and he wants Kyrie there. Now, NBA players say stuff like this all the time. We saw Kyrie say, I would never leave KD. I would never leave 7. And what did he do? Ask for a trade and got out of Brooklyn. And so did KD get out of Brooklyn. So Luka can just be saying anything right now. I'm not saying I believe Luka at all. If the stuff he's saying the right things. But this is sad to see. This Dallas Mavericks team that had a lot of potential. 4th seed before Kyrie came, only won 7 games with Kyrie and Luka in the lineup with each other. Just not good chemistry. No defense is being played. And the question is on the table, can Luka play with another superstar or not? And I think Luka can play with another superstar. Him and Kyrie had some chemistry going on. A couple games we saw. But to be honest, nobody was defined or nobody was appointed to be the leader of this team, to be the leader of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka, we all knew that he was the leader before Kyrie got there. Luka, he's the guy. He is the guy. He is basically the Dallas Mavericks franchise. And I think that changed once Kyrie got there. And you saw the tension on the court when the games were close. They're down 2, they're down 3, they're down 4, they're down 6. And Luka's just passing the ball to Kyrie and standing in the corner and not trying to do anything on the offensive end. And then he does nothing on the defensive end as well. So Luka really never took that step and said, hey, this is my team. Or Kyrie probably never went towards Luka and said, hey, Luka, this is your team. Like D-Wade did to LeBron, like Draymond did to Steph, or KD did to Steph when KD arrived back in 2016, 2017, after they lost that Christmas game, said, hey, man, Steph, I need you to play like Stephen Curry. And Luka, I needed you to play like Luka. And a lot of these games, when they were extremely close, Luka just passed the ball off, passed the ball off, passed the ball off, passed the ball to Kyrie, and the chemistry wasn't great down the stretch. But we all know the defense is horrible. Nobody to protect the rim, nobody to keep defenders in front of them. Even though you have 2 great players on the offensive end, we usually see, if we look back in history, the top players are usually 2-way defenders. And Luka and Kyrie are not 2-way defenders. They are not. So you get past Luka, you get past Kyrie, it's just a layup line because you don't have any big bodies to protect the paint. And of course, when they get beat, somebody helps you kick it out for a 3, knock down 3s, and 3s are just raining against you. And you just continue to lose game after game after game after game after game. And some of those games are like, hey, I'm not seeing a lot of effort either. But this is the thing. In my opinion, just because you have a lot of talent on your team doesn't mean you will win. Or you have 2 of the top guys on the offensive end doesn't equal to wins. You still have to execute once you get on the court, and you still have to play some level of defense. And we saw no defense from Luka, no defense from Kyrie, and no defense from this Dallas Mavericks team. And it's kind of hard to win once Tim Hardaway becomes your best defender. Every single night, Tim Hardaway is your best defender. I love Tim Hardaway's effort. But if Tim Hardaway Jr. is your best defender, you won't win a lot of games on defense. You won't. Or by your defense. You just won't. It won't happen at all. But Luka says he's not upset. He's not in distress. He thinks this Kyrie and Luka thing can actually work out. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. But we have to wait and see. We really have to wait and see if this will work or not.